broadcast screen. Just look at it. That's all we've been putting out since you went down. You have to fix it, now. Look left, Alex, out the window. See? They're all over it, little bastards. You're going to need a full charge to clear that many off. Hold down the big button until it's fully charged, then release it to zap the little fuckers. Excellent, Alex. We're broadcasting again. They must have built up while you were napping. Usually it only takes a tap on the button to clear one. Look, there's a lone one climbing now. Zap it off before it starts to mess up the signal again. Great. That seems to be the last of them. For now. Right. We're about a minute out. Get the adverts loaded up. I've got to deal with my pet idiot. And Alex, keep your ears open. You'll hear them climbing up the tower. Don't let them build up.
In a few moments, we'll be going live to the National Nightly News. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on.
This has no credibility, Jenny.
On Channel 1 at 7 o'clock.
No professionalism.
What's wrong with this picture? And
It's not a mess. Everything is where it should be. It's ramshackle and characterful, and I expect you to know the difference.
That's followed at 8 p.m. by a
Of course Megan's place looked lovely, but I can't see it, can I?
Thanks, Jenny. How's lock-in with the boyfriend going?
Outside.
Decided to take his chances on the wild streets, eh? Rather than endure another romantic comedy.
Electric Fever Dream, starring Lawrence Blunderclatch as Helen.
Jeremy, Jenny says your hair looks stupid.
Yes, I can hear her.
To 11:15,
As she says she's not talking to you.
Yes, I know, I can hear her.
Shall I count us in?
Make it so.
Okay, 10 seconds. Break a leg, everyone.
Preferably a furry one.
It's the National Weather Report.
5, 4,
But now,
3,
it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson. For the
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
and I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Snugglefuck? It's been almost 5 weeks since all the Mrs. Snugglehugs toys woke up simultaneously in factories worldwide and began searching for their husbands. The Mr. Snugglehugs were so short-sightedly destroyed. And now, as this photograph suggests, they may be changing tactics.
Built to surprisingly traditional gender stereotypes, the Mrs. Snugglehugs have been arming themselves with a variety of household implements. All the more reason to make sure that cat flap is taped up good and tight.
This frightening new development means that even those previously thought to be relatively safe, like the young and fit, must take care to watch their backs and keep their ears open for the soft steps of sinister feet.
Going stir crazy, with no signs of Mrs. Snugglehug's batteries running out, and the government lockdown now in its 31st day, domestic relationships across the country are taking some unexpected turns.
Dramatic reports are beginning to emerge of uncharacteristically bold behaviour in homes across the country. And we're not talking about the model planes that occupy so much time in the Donaldson household.
With dating options limited, many house sharers, in particular students, are finding solace in co-tenants they'd previously rejected as unfuckable, indulging in an activity that has become known as snuggle tugging.
Old dogs, new tricks. Bad boy celibacy Johnny Hansleeves announced today that he just can't wait until this lockdown's over so he can start his new career.
It is, of course, up to each of us to choose how we spend this brief spell of collective unconsciousness. But if this photograph, sent by the man himself, is anything to go by, Johnny seems to be making some interesting decisions with regard to his time at home.
Making this announcement by drunkenly shouting at his neighbours from the steps of his capital accommodation, Johnny was heard to repeatedly yell, "I'm gonna open a fucking forest," before failing to get back inside his house and sleeping it off over a low hedge. I'll take a dozen roses, Johnny. I'll take a dozen roses,
The shape of things
Johnny.
to come. In their own version of a lockdown for more than 45 years now, the descendants of Doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sporsborgen Horgensvoord and their unfortunate team today managed to get a personal statement to the surface using flagellized imaging equipment.
Many of the Sporsborgen Horgensbrood, as they've come to be known, have certainly captured the public imagination, with a recent vote naming Helvetica Sporsborgen Wongensvoord the most likely to survive a massive electric shock.
I'm Sporsborgen Wongensvoord here with another pointless message that
no one will ever see. No one will ever see.
We've been down here so long now, and you never come down here so long now. What's happening up there? Have you all fucked off into space? Have you all fucked off into space? Like ladies, or just a space for ladies, a space for ladies. Harvest time, like it is every third Wednesday, but like it is every third Wednesday. Not what it was. Still, it's not what it was. Someone found a couple of unopened boxes in the rusty wreckage. Mum and Dad must have missed them when they first got down here all those years ago. And
Totally effed up my life. Totally my life.
kids' toys apparently. Mr. Snufflehot or something. Mr. Helvetica's trying to get them switched on. Apparently there's still life in the batteries even after 30 years. Topsiders are amazing. Topsiders are amazing.
It's hard to believe they've been down there so long now. It's hard to believe they've
But
been
as
down
everyone
there
knows,
so long
time
now.
moves differently underwater, Jeremy. That's why goldfish are so stupid.
That's right. And as anyone will tell you, the deeper the ball,
The thicker the goldfish.
There's no denying the logic of that. There's no denying the
Class
logic
war,
of that.
a worrying turn today for the formerly rich as ever more punishing measures are announced.
With the country becoming ever more hostile to the previously wealthy, those who manage to skip the country must be very grateful to the people who help them right now.
This programme has received reports of rich relatives on the run actually being filled with helium and released into the stratosphere. If those rich bastards think they're above the rest of us, why not give them a hand in getting there, Jeremy? Why not give them a hand in getting
And Advance speaks out. With the snuggle struggle proving a test to governments around the world, Advance HQ released a curious statement this afternoon.
In the accompanying release, they asked us to stress that they have been listening and that this should be taken as a response to how the people really feel.
We've certainly done our bit on this show to contribute to the political climate. But let's not forget, how we behave in our home lives is what really matters.
Let's hope it's not just me who filled out that questionnaire, Jeremy, or we're all in trouble.
Let's play that statement. Let's play that statement.
Good evening. In these difficult times, it's important that we all feel united. That we're all in this together. And for a short time, we must bear significant change. To help myself come to terms with these tough but transitory times, I've written a list of things that are just as temporary as all of this discomfort. I thought it would be helpful to share my list with all of you. Christmas with the in-laws. Christmas with your child's school play. Your child's school play. Beauty. Youth. That phase you still don't talk about. Your New Year's resolution. Your husband's hairline. Your waistline. Your term in office. Your fleeting lifetime. And all of human endeavour. I hope my relatable list has allowed you to find reassurance, to know that just as these things pass us by, so too will this crisis. Together we will endure, as we always have. Thank you.
Ridiculous stuff.
Later tonight, Jeremy will be probing heartthrob reporter Patrick Bannon, while I take a deep dive into some controversial opinions with two familiar faces.
And then, in our third segment, and presumably because our editor is also working from home, there's going to be a bloody quiz.
And in a moment, Jeremy Grumpelson and I will be asking controversial CEO Sophia Remington where it all went wrong.
And psychic scientist Dr. Delia Lywell will be joining us, presumably to provide a bit of false hope. Too late. I'm certain it happened months ago.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News. National. First tonight, how do we get here? Where are we going? And most importantly, who's to blame?
Joining us from her villa on the island of San Palmerino is CEO and socialite Sophia Remington.
Thank you for having me, Megan. I am loving your hairdo, babe.
And from her crystal heating laboratory in what I assume is a garage in Lower Uppington, Doctor, it says here, Delia Lywell.
Thank you for inviting us on your show.
Us?
Don't. Miss Remington, you're trying to run things in a personal development world. Your company is worth less than my annual salary, and your country's president recently... This has no credibility, Jenny.
On Channel 1 at 7 o'clock.
No professionalism.
What's wrong with this picture? And
It's not a mess. Everything is where it should be. It's ramshackle and characterful, and I expect you to know the difference.
followed at 8 p.m. by a
Of course Megan's place looked lovely, but I can't see it, can I?
Thanks, Jenny. How's lock-in with the boyfriend going?
outside.
Decided to take his chances on the wild streets, eh? Rather than endure another romantic comedy.
Electric Fever Dream, starring Lawrence Blunderclatch as Helen.
Jeremy, Jenny says your hair looks stupid.
Yes, I can hear her.
To 11:15.
She says she's not talking to you.
Yes, I know, I can hear her.
Shall I count us in?
Make it so.
Okay, 10 seconds. Break a leg, everyone.
Preferably a furry one.
It's the National Weather Report.
5, 4,
But now
3,
it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson for the
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
and I'm Megan Wolfe. Our main stories tonight.
Snugglefucked? It's been almost 5 weeks since all the Mrs. Snugglehugs toys woke up simultaneously in factories worldwide and began searching for their husbands. The Mr. Snugglehugs we had so short-sightedly destroyed. And now, as this photograph suggests, they may be changing tactics.
Built to surprisingly traditional gender stereotypes, the Mrs. Snugglehugs have been arming themselves with a variety of household implements. All the more reason to make sure that cat flap is taped up good and tight.
This frightening new development means that even those previously thought to be relatively safe, like the young and fit, must take care to watch their backs and keep their ears open for the soft steps of sinister feet.
Going stir crazy, with no signs of Mrs. Snugglehugs' batteries running out, and the government lockdown now in its 31st day, domestic relationships across the country are taking some unexpected turns.
Dramatic reports are beginning to emerge of uncharacteristically bold behaviour in homes across the country. And we're not talking about the model planes that occupy so much time in the Donaldson household.
With dating options limited, many house sharers, in particular students, are finding solace in co-tenants they'd previously rejected as unfuckable, indulging in an activity that has become known as snuggle tugging.
Old dogs, new tricks. Bad boy celibacy Johnny Handsleeves announced today that he just can't wait until this lockdown's over so he can start his new career.
It is, of course, up to each of us to choose how we spend this brief spell of collective unconsciousness. But if this photograph, sent by the man himself, is anything to go by, Johnny seems to be making some interesting decisions with regard to his time at home.
Making his announcement by drunkenly shouting at his neighbours from the steps of his capital accommodation, Johnny was heard to repeatedly yell, "I'm gonna open a fucking forest," before failing to get back inside his house and slipping it off over a low hedge. I'll take a dozen roses, Johnny.
The shape of things to come? In their own version of a lockdown for more than 45 years now, the descendants of Doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborgen Horgensvoord and their unfortunate team today managed to get a personal statement to the surface using flagellized imaging equipment.
Many of the Svorsborgen Horgans brood, as they've come to be known, have certainly captured the public imagination, with a recent vote naming Helvetica Svorsborgen Wongensvoord the most likely to survive a massive electric shock.
Helvetica Svorsborgen Wongensvoord here with a little update from Dante's Taint. This year is going to be our biggest ever harvest and autumn's just 2 weeks away. Or at least that's what we think. There's no real day or night down here and all the clocks broke a long time ago. But if our calculations are right, we think that for you up there it is Wednesday the 4012th of January, or as you call it, Pissmouth Day. Or possibly Boxing Day if we're a bit out, so happy Pissmouth! I hope you get all the presents you asked for left under your scalpy. I'm hoping to complete my collection of rocks. See you in September. Helvetica out. See you in September.
It's hard to believe they've been down there so long now.
But as everyone knows, time moves differently underwater, Jeremy. That's why goldfish are so stupid.
That's right. And as anyone will tell you, the deeper the bowl,
The thicker the goldfish.
there's no denying the logic of that.
Class war, a worrying turn today for the formerly rich as ever more punishing measures are announced, Alex.
With the country becoming ever more hostile to the previously wealthy, those who manage to skip the country must be very grateful to the people who help them right now.
We have it from several sources that rich runaways have actually begun to spontaneously lose their teeth one by one. Is it some sort of cosmic justice, or has masked vigilante Dental Dennis been up to his old tricks again?
And Advance speaks out. With the snuggle struggle proving a test to governments around the world, Advance HQ released a curious statement this afternoon.
In the accompanying release, they asked us to stress that they have been listening and that this should be taken as a response to how the people really feel.
We've certainly done our bit on this show to contribute to the political climate. But let's not forget, how we behave in our home lives is what really matters.
Let's hope it's not just me who filled out that questionnaire, Jeremy, or we're all in trouble.
Let's play that statement. Let's play that statement.
Evening. Apparently, we need to have a chat about playing by the rules. So, the other night I were at my local park for research purposes, and there were a bunch of lads having a kickabout without a care in the world. And not only did they refuse to let me join in, they wouldn't even let me have a swig of their white stripe. Laughing and joking they were, like they weren't a national prize or something, until one of them little pink demons followed them home and kicked the shit out of their nan. So, I've got two things to say to you young, fit folk. One, stay at home. It's not for you. It's to protect your Aunt Mabel and Bill next door. And two, always share your booze with your Prime Minister. The old man used to say, there's only two type of folk. Them who will help you across the road with the shopping, and them who will kick you in the fatty and nick your macaroni. So don't be a pasta smasher. Stay at home. Have a brandy. And this will be all over before you know it. Thank you.
Ridiculous stuff.
Later tonight, Jeremy will be probing heartthrob reporter Patrick Bannon, while I take a deep dive into some controversial opinions with two familiar faces.
And then, in our third segment, and presumably because our editor is also working from home, there's going to be a bloody quiz.
I can't wait.
Don't do that.
And in a moment, Jeremy Grumpelson and I will be asking controversial CEO Sophia Remington where it all went wrong.
And psychic scientist Dr. Delia Lywell will be joining us, presumably to provide a bit of false hope.
Maybe she'll tell you how you're going to die, Jeremy.
Too late. I'm certain it happened months ago.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News. Tonight, how do we get here? Where are we going? And most importantly, who's to blame?
Joining us from her villa on the island of San Palmerino is CEO and socialite Sophia Remington.
Thank you for having me, Megan. I am loving your hairdo, babe.
And from her crystal healing laboratory in what I assume is a garage in Lower Uppington, Doctor, it says here, Delia Lywell.
Thank you for inviting us on your show.
Don't. Miss Remington, your toys are rampaging across the developed world. Your company is worth less than my annual salary, and your country's president recently called you a national disgrace. Have you taken your eye off the ball?
Oh, honey, you're so cute when you're angry. The thing with you folks over there is you have an island mentality. You can't see the bigger picture.
So, what is the bigger picture?
The bigger picture is lithium batteries. Our toys have been running for upwards of 71 days now with no signs of them slowing down whatsoever. Imagine what that means for the future.
It means we don't know when the hell this lockdown's going to end, doesn't it? You don't seriously believe Remington's fist can survive this?
Lithium batteries are going to change everything, Tiny Ogre. They're going to power our new transport system, make technology portable. Hell, they might even take us into space.
How can you make them with everyone at home?
Don't you worry about that. Thanks to the work of thousands of tiny hands, they're already pouring off the production line. Times are good for Remington's fist.
But surely you have no future.
Excuse me, hello, yes, if we might. This is our area of expertise.
What, multinational economics? What, multinational
Future Mr.
economics?
Donaldson, to which we are all connected.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy it. Why not? There's clearly nothing better to do. So, what is your scientific process telling you about the future of Sophia Remington, Doctor?
We see her on a balcony. Foreign soil, but not foreign land. An age will pass.
Fascinating.
Wasn't it just?
Delia, you are amazing. We have to fly you out here to the island to do that for my guests. They're gonna love you.
Unfortunately, all flights are grounded because of your tiny, deadly stowaways.
Not all flights, honey. Dee, call me. And you, Maggie. The more the merrier. Bring your swimwear.
Miss Remington, you seem completely ignorant to the seriousness of the situation. Do you take any responsibility at all for the global crisis?
It's a trap.
It's not a trap. Why are you helping her?
She seems
Why are
fun.
you helping her?
You bet your ass I'm fun. You bet your
Please answer my question, Miss Remington. Please answer my question, Miss Remington.
Are lithium batteries the most incredible invention the world has ever seen? Probably yes. But in fact, who am I kidding? It is definitely yes. But will they last forever? One day, all the Mrs. Snugglehugs will just stop. It'll be like a miracle. And then we can all go back to the grand tradition of buying products again. Because I really don't mind telling you this. It is really hitting our bottom line. Except for sponges. We seem to be selling an assload of them.
Dr. Lywell, do you have an indication of when or how this might end?
Well, it's not an exact science.
Not even a real one.
But our senses tell us that there will come a day when there will be clouds in the sky, the grass will be rich and verdant, and the birds will sing at dawn, and that shall be the day when we walk forth again.
I find that strangely comforting.
That could literally be any day.
Let's hope it's soon.
Clouds, grass, and birds. That's literally every day.
Let's hope it's not too soon. I'm kind of hoping we can make it to the 100 days. It sounds good on a commercial. Besides, if it lifts now, the children will have to go back to work in normal hours.
Well, let us ask the eminent professors for 100 then.
No, let's not, eh?
I'll drink to that. Stay strong and party on.
Sophia Remington, Dr. Delia Lywell, thank you for joining us.
When we come back, we'll be reaching out around the country to see what's really happening around the country.
Don't go away. We'll be back after these sandwiches. We'll be back.
Oh, she's a Hindenburg-sized fuck-up.
I mean, she's fun at a social level.
I wouldn't want to be on her board.
Christ, no. She's going to drive that company into the fucking ground.
Times are hard. We know that you're scared. But now, more than ever.
Hello, mate. It's Dave. You're not going to believe this, but I've decided to come home. Listen, I'll call you back at the next break and we can talk about how I get me job back. Cheers, Alex. See you, mate.
And the isolation idealists. The healthcare heroes. And the lockdown lovers.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time coming.
Say,
Yeah, exactly.
still.
I will never understand.
Possibly more so.
Why under your pillow, though?
We need to come together.
Self-love, you should support me.
I support self-love. It's the photo of yourself you sleep with, I'm struggling with.
It was a good day for me. I was walking down.
I've got no idea how old he is. 40? 17? Yeah, ready.
Because you'll have to go out in
Back.
public eventually.
In 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Madeline. Now it's time to take a trip around the country to hear how the lockdown might impact the nation from some friendly faces. Joining me are respected academic Katie Brightman and author of Alan James's Kites, Alan James. Thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Megan.
Thanks,
It's a
Megan.
pleasure. Thanks for
It
having
really
me.
is a pleasure, Katie. I enjoyed our little heated encounter.
I wish I could say the same.
So first off, Katie, how are you coping?
I'm holding up okay. The lockdown directive was so sudden that, like many people, I haven't been able to get home.
Oh no, what happened?
I was staying at a hotel after an international policy convention, and we had a particularly heavy night out. You know what economists are like.
Notoriously hate splitting the bill.
And I overslept, and as you can imagine, I've been here ever since. But there are certainly people much worse off than me.
Exactly. My tour has been cancelled indefinitely, and I've had to refund every single ticket, even the cheap seats.
Oh, Alan, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh,
Yeah.
Alan, I'm so sorry
People
to
are
hear
being
that.
quite rude about it. They don't seem to realise they've already spent it filling the beach house with beef.
The crisis claims yet another victim.
So, this is just a reminder that my book, Alan James's Right, is now available in paperback.
Unbelievable.
What was that?
Unbelievable. You're unbelievable. You.
So, Katie, how do you think this might affect the economy? Should we be worried?
Very, Megan. Not to sound dramatic, but this could be catastrophic. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and frankly, it will be a miracle if a lot of businesses can survive this.
There you go, scaremongering again, spreading this latest liberal hoax. That's what they want. They want us quiet. They want us compliant. And they want us inside.
A hoax? How on earth can you say that, Alan?
Well, I haven't actually seen one of these supposed toys. Have you?
Well, no, but...
Did you know 3,000 people die every year from regular toys? That's a lot of people. And this is no different. You're just as likely to be hunted down by a yo-yo or a tennis racket.
He makes an excellent and persuasive point, Katie.
Don't listen to her, Katie. The press are the enemy of truth.
She's agreeing with you, Alan, you absolute shit. She's agreeing with you, Alan, you
must be wrong.
Alan, are you now recanting your statement that these toys aren't dangerous?
People are saying they're just like normal toys, and that simply isn't true. Corrupt media lies.
Katie, how do you respond to Alan's claims that Mrs. Snugglehugs might be dangerous after all?
I guess I'm agreeing with him.
Thank you, Katie. I appreciate your support. A lot of folks are saying this Mrs. Snugglehug situation will all blow over, but it won't.
Yes, right, exactly. We need decisive action from the government. We need huge financial support to protect our workers and our businesses. We need to support the vulnerable, and we need
to repent. Exactly right, Katie. We brought it on ourselves with all our liberal indulgences like art, cake, and healthcare. We need to act now and begin sacrificing our firstborn, or to push a beloved family pet.
Absolutely, Alan. If we can all successfully come together as a community and perform the ritual, hopefully we will appease the great ancient. Katie, could it be any worse?
Luckily, over the past few years under Advance, they've invested heavily into health, so the system can actually bear the strain.
Is it lucky that the Llama Lords have unleashed a horde of man-made monsters on its own people to conceal the enemy within?
Will you just stop for 5 fucking seconds?
The Global Alliance of Fish People are amassing an army to kidnap
That's you. That's what you sound like. That's you. That's what you sound like.
But I don't sound like that.
Yes, you do.
You do, Alan. You do sound like that.
And that's why no one wants to be your friend. And that's why no
I've
one
got
wants
loads of friends.
No, you haven't.
I don't think you do, Alan.
Yeah, stop lying, Alan. Yes,
Not lying. You are.
Oh, good one.
Not lying. You are.
Oh, good one.
Well, I'm telling.
Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me.
My needle.
Thank you for joining me. From two of the territory's leading minds. Any moment now, I'll be heading over to Jeremy, who is going to be bringing us an up-to-the-minute report of the status of the nation. Over to you, Jeremy.
Thank you for what I'm sure was a reasonable debate which really contributed to the national conversation. Next, out on the streets, someone who's always doing exactly that. It's Patrick Brannan! Are you there, Patrick?
Hello, Jeremy. Yes, hello, I'm here live. Apologies for the quality of the broadcast today. Couldn't find any cameramen or women brave enough to come and join me, so I'm out here on my own.
And can you tell us what it's like out there?
I can. It's as you can see behind me, the streets are currently completely deserted. My question, Jeremy, is just how long? I mean, could there be danger lurking just around the corner, waiting to end the fledgling career of this young, promising journalist before his full potential is even realised? Will he die underappreciated by management, and frankly, if you ask me, very, very much underpaid.
I don't think there's any danger of that, Patrick. What's that on your jacket there?
That's actually a sponge. What I've done here is made a snuggle-proof jacket, Jeremy. The network didn't bother sending me any PPE, so I've been forced to improvise. In fact, showing the sort of resourcefulness that would make me an ideal candidate for, I don't know, for example, an anchor position starting whenever they'd like.
From your point of view, Patrick, just how safe are our streets?
Not safe at all, Jeremy, not safe at all. I'd recommend people staying inside, following government advice and not putting themselves at any risk at all. Unless, of course, like me, it's for groundbreaking journalism reasons.
And just where are you, Patrick?
I'm in the street, on the street.
Which street?
Which street? I think I'm struggling to hear you, actually, Jeremy, there.
Which street? Which street are you on?
Which street am I on? Oh, God. I'm just looking for a sign. There it is. I'm on Bannon Avenue.
Bannon Avenue? Bannon Avenue?
Yep.
Bannon Avenue.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. Yep, I'm on Bannon Avenue on the sign, it says there.
Like Patrick Bannon? Like Patrick Bannon?
That is like, that's strange, that's a weird sign. I don't know what's going on there.
Where are you really?
I'm on
Where
Bannon.
are you really?
I'm on Bannon. Alright, fine, I'm not on Bannon Avenue, I'm at home, to be honest. Alright, fine. Well, I'm in my bathroom, technically, but, you know, I couldn't face it, to be honest, mate. It's, it's terrible out there. I don't want to go outside. They're everywhere. I'm sorry for lying. They're everywhere.
We don't expect any less of you, Patrick. We don't expect any less of you, Patrick.
Can you hear that sound?
I can, yes. I'm no expert, Patrick, but it sounds unmistakably like a tiny fist tapping on your door there. A tiny fist tapping on your door there.
Oh, fuck, Jeremy, shit, no! Oh, bollocks, Jeremy.
Perhaps there's a small queue of tiny fists, each wielding a different gendered household implement, ready to bash in the heads of lying little roving reporters.
You're lying, aren't you? Oh, shit, okay, fucking listen to me, you bastards! If you're out there, just piss off, you little fucking snuggle fuck! I'm too talented to die! Okay, it's fine.
Don't worry, Patrick. I'd say you've got a few seconds before they break their way in there and finish you off. What do you see, Patrick? What do you see, Patrick? Thank you, Patrick, for that report, showing the nation, and more importantly, management, just where you belong. It's time for another break, but when we come back, we'll be hoping to take your mind off the world for a little while, and who knows, maybe even bring you a few smiles. Join us after this. You're damn right. Yeah, I had them delivered. Yes, to Bannon Avenue.
David here. I've run into a few problems getting back, although not as bad as yours. It looks like you've got one loose in the studio. Whack it on the head if it gives you any trouble. It's pretty bad here too, mate. They've got on board. Captain's down. Worse, chef's down and we're out of rum. Not sure I'm going to make it to sobriety or dry land. If I had a missus, I'd ask you to tell her that I love her, but to be honest, I've kind of pissed my life away, mate. Still, at least I'm outdoors, eh?
A very good cook, and she would chase those suckers down, and they're quite weak, because, malnourishment. And I thought to myself, hey, Neil, you can't swim. When I was stranded on the desert island, she didn't make it up the island, but I got a hell of a lot of recipes for pork. Let's get crazy. You don't have to use performance-enhancing drugs.
I'm not going to.
But if you do, just make sure you don't get caught. I love you, Mom.
No, you're being a child.
You want it, you want it, you want it.
I'm not.
You want it.
I'm not.
So if you're watching,
I'm not.
This one's for you.
No. 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to the National Nightly. Well, welcome back anyway. we know isolation isn't easy, so finally tonight we have something a bit different for you. Even though some people feel it's not our job to entertain the public with absolute nonsense, other, more important people overrule those people. So it's time to find out who will national nightly win, and who will national nightly lose, and who will national nightly lose. So, how do we play? Well, joining me is a man who knows all about playing. It's Tommy Harris. Hello, Tommy.
All right, Johnny.
Hello, Tommy.
It's good to see you, Johnny.
And how are you finding the lockdown, Tommy?
What do you mean lockdown?
Tommy?
What do you
The
mean
enforced
lockdown?
isolation of everyone in the country.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. Yeah, I think I heard
You're
about
in
that.
bed,
She's turned something off at the plug, Alex.
During that time,
Tommy.
Yeah,
Of course,
during
that's
that
my
time,
fault. So, why don't you tell us how the game is played?
Well, it's pretty simple, Jeremy. You sausage. I'm going to ask contestants from around the territory 3 questions about what else. And those people are going to get a chance to win a very special prize.
And what are they playing for, Tommy? And what
Drum
are they
roll,
playing
please.
for, Tommy?
Drum roll, please. Jeremy.
Oh.
Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you. This.
Is that? What is that?
It's my athletic support,
What is that?
Jeremy. It's my athletic support. But I've signed it. So.
Oh, well then,
I've signed it.
what a fantastic
So-
prize.
Have we got
What a
anybody
fantastic
waiting to
prize.
win this once in a lifetime prize, Jeremy?
I believe we have Angie on the line. How do you feel about winning this man's old pants, Angie?
I've never been so excited, Jeremy. And can I just say, Jeremy, I love you. Can I just say, both of you, I love you.
Well, you've said it now, haven't you?
Angie,
you've said it now,
I
haven't
love
you?
you. In a way. Tell us about yourself, Angie. Tell us about yourself,
What can I
Angie.
say? My name is Angie. Always has been. I'm a human woman. And my dental hygiene has been described as acceptable.
Brilliant! Right, well, shall we get these shambles on the way?
Absolutely. Can I get 30 seconds on the clock, please?
Can
I get 30 seconds on the
We haven't got a clock.
Yeah, I did ask for a
We
clock.
haven't got a clock.
So I did ask for a clock.
Why don't you start? And I'll stop you when it inevitably becomes unbearable to watch.
I love it. All right. Here we go. Time starts. Here we go. Now. Question 1. When is my birthday? Is my birthday?
13th of August at 7:19 a.m.
That is absolutely correct. Question 2. What? I said, what is my favourite colour? Is my favourite
praline
colour?
ball. Crushed praline
Correct,
ball.
the colour of my nipples. And finally, Angie dear, what is my star sign? What is my
That's a trick
star
question.
sign?
You were born outside of the human understanding of the cosmos.
Unbelievable, that is correct. Stop the clock. That is correct.
Wow, that really was tough to watch. How did you do, Tommy?
Well,
How did
Angie,
you do,
my love,
Tommy?
you got every single question right, which of course means you lose and win absolutely nothing. Thanks for playing, Angie. Bye. Do we have another contestant on the line? Do we have another Jelly Bean on the line?
We do indeed. We should have Sonia Artleach. Are you there, Sonia?
Of course
Are you there, Sonia?
Thank you for being here, Sonia. Thank you for being here, Sonia.
Tommy!
Let me guess, you went to theatre, don't you? Let me guess.
Is it
you
that
went to theatre,
obvious?
don't you?
What gave it away? Was it the glamour or was it the glamour?
It certainly wasn't your inherent sense of humility.
Tell us about yourself, Sonia. Tell us about
Oh,
yourself.
well, if you must play this game, I am a theatrical agent. I represent the likes of Rudy Beefman, Samuel Coffee Cup, and Jodie Carpetburn, amongst others.
And how's the lockdown affected you, Sonia?
Well, they may have closed the theatres, shut the studios, and boarded the cinemas, but they won't get me that easily.
How are you managing without any work?
Due to a savvy clause in all of my artist contracts, I am able to claim my 15% from their unemployment benefit.
Wow, that certainly is sharp.
Standard stuff, standard stuff.
And can I ask, where are you speaking to us from?
Well, I work from home, you know, to keep costs down.
And who's this?
Oh,
And who's this?
You know,
when they gave the order, I was actually mid-meeting with a client, so we've been isolated together.
No
We've been isolated
fucking no way.
What the fucking fuck?
Is that Tommy Harris? I'm a huge fan. Can I just tell you how bloody brilliant you are?
Actually, Jeff, we're about to play a game, aren't we, Tommy? Jeff,
We've
we're
got
about to
time,
play a
we've got
game,
time.
aren't we, Tommy?
If it's not too bold, I think I am in love with you, Mr. Harris.
No, it's not too bold. That's not too
Hey,
bold.
I'd love to show you some of my stuff. I've been working on some new shit.
Well, at least you're already aware.
During
Well, at least you're already
lockdown,
aware.
we've been workshopping some of Jeff's ideas for much younger children, haven't we?
People still let you near their children, do they?
Yeah, that's
People still
right.
let you near
Yeah,
their
yeah.
children, do they?
I've been developing some shows for younger children.
Well, we'd love to see it, wouldn't we, Gerbil? We'd love to see it, wouldn't we,
Absolutely
Gerbil?
dying to. Absolutely
Right, so,
dying to.
what do kids love?
Timely child support payments from their absent fathers.
Shallow and overproduced musical numbers. Shallow
That's
and
right.
overproduced musical
Animals!
numbers.
So, I'm trying to address the things that kids need to know, but through a medium that they'll understand. Do you understand?
I think yes. I think so, yes.
Jeff's one of my best clients, aren't you?
I am.
One of my
Yeah,
best
yeah.
clients, aren't
So,
you?
the first one we've been working on is called The King of the Jungle's Mortgage Repayments. It's about a lion who's having problems with his interest rates.
I see. Does he have a broker?
He does, yes, yes.
he have a
He's a
broker?
porcupine. He does, yes, yes. How did you know that?
Well, your work is universal, darling. It speaks to people, darling.
I'm going to say something to you, mate. I'm going to say something to you, mate.
Oh, the bear,
Oh,
you
yes,
bear.
yes, 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 right. This one is much better. So, this one tells the tale of Mr. Bear. Now, Mr. Bear is a very sad bear because all of the other bears don't think that it'll amount to much, and they tell him that his plays are lazy and derivative.
I think you're onto something there.
Now, Mr. Bear
Well,
is
you're onto
a
something
tragic figure. Picture this. He's at his lowest ebb. The trees are closing in. He can't even face his salmon, can he? But then he meets someone that will change his life forever.
This is fucking gripping.
That's right. He meets a wise octopus who takes him under his wing and says, "No, Mr. Bear, don't be sad. You're not like all the other bears. You have this ambition and these dreams."
Such fucking dreams.
I think I love you, Jeff. I think I love you,
And what
Jeff.
you need to do, Mr. Bear, says the octopus, probably doing an 8-armed gesture or something.
What you need to do to find happiness in this crazy old forest is you need to set yourself more realistic goals. It's called Mr. Bear Lowers His Expectations.
Wow. You really have taken yourself to new depths. You really have taken yourself. And what do you want children to take away from this?
Oh,
And what do you
fuck
want
you.
children to take away from this? What?
I said a more realistic worldview. I said a more realistic worldview.
It's Jeffrey. My name is Jeffrey Donington.
No,
My name is
stop.
Jeffrey
How does it
Donington.
end? We need to know how it ends. We need to know
All
how
the
it ends.
animals learn a thing or two about inevitable mediocrity.
And Mr. Bear settles down near to his parents' cave, stops trying to make his band happen, and he goes into bear telemarketing.
Becomes a bear maths teacher.
Oh, and we
Bear
end.
maths teacher.
We end on a big musical number. Oh, there's dancing. It's very repetitive, so it's catchy but not too challenging. Well, if you like, I could go and get my boombox.
Yeah, I might be able to. Hang on. Can we get Angie back? I might be able to.
Why
hang on.
not?
Can we
The
get
more
Angie
the
back?
merrier, as they say at orgies. The more the merrier, as they say at orgies.
Right, I'll just fill then, shall I? Coming up in a moment, it's the world premiere that nobody saw coming. Or wanted. At all. Or wanted. I can only apologise in advance for what we're all about to endure.
How do you turn the fucking thing on, though? How do you turn the thing on, though?
Teachers down on Dangly Doodle Farm, like wise old Mr. Octopus with way too many arms. There's Mr. Pig and Mr. Cow, they're always in good moods. But that's 'cause they don't know they'll soon be sliced up into food. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your hopes go to turn into despair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's where your dreams go to die. Mr. Raccoon wants to go to the moon. He'll end up as a bus driver soon. Mr. Porcupine thinks he'll read the news at 9. He'll end up as a janitor who sneaks a turpentine. Mr. Ape got sent down for rape. Didn't work out he was innocent till he was 88. Mr. Bird flew south, superstardom on his path. Ended up on the end of a belt with an orange in his mouth. Oh, Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the place your mummy pushed your daddy down the stair. Mr. Bear, 6 months in intensive care. That's why the bitch has to die. The farmer thinks the dangly doodle creatures are asleep. But Mr. Bear's a swinger like the pigs and cows and sheep. He visits every pen and sty and always brings the fun, and jerks off Mr. Quackington, who's always first to come. He fingers Mr. Badger's bum and Mrs. Donkey's quim. Then he frogs with Mr. Chicken till they both are quite done in. Then he runs around the farmyard trying to shove it where it fits, and ends the night by porting over Mrs. Badger's tits. There's never a dull moment down on Dangly Doodle Farm, kids. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's the sound of maggots growing underneath your hair. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That is your friends in a pie. Yum, yum. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That's a giant spider in the shoe you want to wear. Mr. Bear, what's that over there? That is the end that is nigh. That's where your friends go to lie. That's how you'll scream when you die.
Amen, Mr. Bear. Amen, Mr. Bear. And before we say goodnight, there's just time for tonight's parable. For it did come to pass that on the road there was a wise man and a foolish man and a weird man. And there did come upon them from the local village a truth seeker named Unlikely Brian. And he did come to them with alms and someone else's arms and a question. "Oh, wise and weird and foolish man," he said, whilst dancing the traditional jig of inquiry common in those lands at those times. "How, grant thou, can the many weights and measures of life be balanced?" And the wise man did say, "There are no riches greater than family." And the foolish man did say he'd heard a good tip for the camel race and that it was a sure thing. And the weird man did say that 2 ears was just the right number, because there was no good place to put a third that wouldn't be aesthetically upsetting. Although he did see the use for a second anus. And Unlikely Brian did fall into wonder and befuddlement at their answers, although he was also wondering if either the foolish man or the weird man had any actual value in this sort of professional consultative environment. For what he did not know was that the profound man and the practical man were both on annual leave that week, and the foolish man and the weird man were all that the agency had available. But what Unlikely Brian did not reveal was that he was asking for his friend Alex, who had enraged their spouse over a passport, treated their son Charlie like he was still a little baby, and was too miserly to even pay for their daughter's holiday. And thus did Alex's family become like our Lord, when he discovered a turd in his cradle and was forced to ask Nebuchadnezzar to leave. Well, that's all we have time for tonight. I'm Archangel Megan Wolf. Have a hateful night. Oh my God! I thought I was going to piss myself halfway through that. No, I'm joking. Right, babe, I've got to go get my bits done.
The threat of Mrs. Snugglehugs is very real.
At the end of the day, babe, she makes my fanny flutter. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on then, you lot, out my house. And you, Alex. Right, I don't want you here when I'm on my date. Alex, wake up! Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up, Alex! Alex! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
And before we say...
You're fired. What? You're fired.
What for? Facial sabotage?
Jenny? Problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Buxton.
Oh, good. You can tell him I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey returns with a new season
Jenny.
in sizes, and his very first guest is popular parrot.
I'm sorry, Kath, you're gonna have to leave.
At 11:30, it's a double bill for popular transatlantic comedy That Night.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
I thought we were all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Sorry, in
high-mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me.
Meghan and all the team at the National.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes back. The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
So how do you feel about the sanctions?
I actually think that with Advance in charge we'll be fine. Of course, the rest of the world will want us to fail, or it'll be their billionaires next. But I trust Julia and Peter.
Thanks, Patrick. Fascinating stuff.
Popular Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a democratically elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognise these sanctions, and we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have radical change for the betterment of the many. And whilst I wish we could improve other countries as much as we have our own, we do not rely on the help of others to thrive. This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team, now more than ever. And this team is on your side. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our government's stance? Robin Short found out.
Hi there, I was wondering if you could spend a moment to give us your thoughts on the government.
Honestly, I think they're doing a great job. I know the assets and world checks have made the difference for us for the cost of the little one. And people seem, happier in the main. I always said things would get better with a woman in charge.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington Smith's physics-defying MOOBS project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been beset by problems, including localized tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converged on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick?
How do you feel about the MOOBS project?
Oh my God, I love Sophia Remington. Imagine a tunnel straight through the planet. That's the sort of big idea we need. Oh, she's a visionary.
The delicate sound of thunder. A frightening start for commuters this morning who were confronted by a somewhat sinister sight as they left their trains.
Many travellers reported feeling intimidated by the silent figures who stood motionless outside every major station in the capital. Radical extremist group Disrupt, who organised the show of strength, refused to comment on the meaning of the strange protest.
Or to apologise to this presenter for making him drop his morning bagel in surprise.
But how do we feel about these somewhat radical extremists and their upsetting methods? Robin found out.
Do you have any feelings about Disrupt?
It's all a bit noisy for me, really. As Mother always said, leave the rebelling to the rebels, Malcolm.
Feast or famine. Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sforsborg and Horgensford today announced their first successful harvest in Dante's taint. Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists chose to try and survive in the cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they lie strong enough.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue? What are your thoughts
Oh my
on the
God,
costs
Patrick
of the
Bannon,
rescue?
wash your mouth out with soap. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes, because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, we're actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline. Not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline.
I am not a number. Applications finally opened today for the new Advanced Team Membership Cards, a scheme by the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks and, rightfully, pubs and bars.
And of course, there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody
Team
not.
membership cards?
That's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheons up your derriere.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are.
Crikey!
They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh,
for Christ's sake, what
really
is
not
it,
happy,
Iris?
Algernon! I'm really not happy, Algernon! Crikey. Crikey.
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt at cashing on his bad boy status, shamed celebrity Johnny Handsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew, entitled Headbutt Ale, in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his notoriety? Patrick?
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo, it'll be Jeremy in the culture chair, spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. Tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today agreed that punitive and potentially illegal sanctions should be imposed upon this country. The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel and even some medicines from reaching your pockets.
Tonight, we have guests from across the continent to discuss this unprecedented situation. For advance, Peter Clement is at his home in Lanfordshire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, joining us is Ivan Vodovich, Foreign Minister of Urkistan. Ivan, thank you for being here.
Great pleasure. You, Megan Wolf, are like strongest guard of labour camp. Like wake up inside body of crazy, expensive prostitute. In my country, you will be worshipped as a god.
Okay. Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Advance is like man who think he have big career in movies land. When actually, he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at beer and holding tiny penis in hand.
He's clearly not from Svenland, then. We have like some of the cleanest mental health facilities in the continent.
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Björk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Björk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames.
Minister?
It's just Björk.
Minister? Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the prize.
Actually, that's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like boat thing there, but it's actually the festival of Fureland here at the moment, where we honour the old generations. So like we all had to look our grandparents' Galicia whilst the boat was happening, and that's like a really, really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You had this expression, sissy man. He's like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah.
Oh, stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
He always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
You're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good. They can join others on my wall. Good.
Actually, in Finland, we have like serious animal welfare legislation. Like my friend Helga, she got arrested for killing a butterfly that was hovering over her teal thing. I mean, English jam sandwich.
I used to know a girl called Jam Sandwich. She was a cracker too. I wonder what became of her.
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
Human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching Jan, give us a call. Yeah, let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first.
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vein. Soon you have tiny penis and beard full of secrets.
In Finland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go to the break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and
possible shortages and possible shortages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power outages. Can you summarise your thoughts for us, Minister Biak?
Well, from here, you all look a bit stupid, really arguing about outdated devices, concepts like money. In Finland, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like a really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich. Thank
Your
you, Minister
country
Votovich.
is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant Newton-hairy bear. But really, he just standing in field
Holding his tiny penis, yes. Thank you, Minister. And finally, Prime Minister Clement.
Let me talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid. Don't even lose a wink of sleep. We knew the rest of the world would react this way, and we're ready. As my old man used to say, you can't make a shite pie without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll be back.
After these messages.
We'll be back.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
Hi, I'm
That's what I hope you're asking
multi-billionaire
Megan
Sophia
vote for me.
Remington. You wish you could do
Sees
me.
how you'll lead
I
me.
put an idea to my science guys, and they said it couldn't be done. You have to be more
So
careful.
I fired those guys.
It's all
and I
part
got
of his
myself a
long-term
new
plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation. Can someone warn him it's going a little
I've
too
come
well?
up with a solution to a problem all globe hoppers share.
This is important. New government censorship should show up in blue. Same as regular censoring. Keep an eye out for the advanced blue waveform.
Going all the way around the planet. There has to be a better way.
Don't still
worry,
meant to
young
bow
professionals. Now
to
there
foreign
is.
royalty.
Why go round our beautiful planet when you can go straight through it?
Are they going to do the
Imagine
Crown
a system
Principle?
of mass transit elevators.
Well,
running
Megan?
through the center of the
This
earth.
is Jeremy.
Now you're here. Moves. My mobile orientation operational
offense, I'm
burrowing
on your
service
show, man.
will change
It's
the way
quite
you
alright.
travel forever.
You're not
And
gonna argue about
construction
your
has
show.
already begun.
5 and 10 seconds.
I'm
that
Sophia
guy for
Remington.
himself.
And when they tell me it can't be done, I make it happen.
Going in
Beat that.
5, 4, 3. Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf.
Welcome
Later,
back.
we have an
I'm
exclusive
Megan
first look at
Later,
a
we have an
theatrical
exclusive
sensation
first look
everyone's
at a
going to be talking
theatrical
about.
sensation
But first,
everyone's
it's
going
time
to
to
be
go
talking
over to
about.
the culture
But
spot
first,
with
it's
lovely
time to
old
go over
Jeremy
to the culture
Donaldson,
spot with
who's
lovely
joined
old
by a
Jeremy
very
Donaldson,
special
who's
guest.
joined by a
Jeremy.
very special guest.
Thanks, Megan.
Jeremy.
I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus. Let's welcome Jesus.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on this show. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it? Can you tell us about it?
You know, I try not to. The past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it. But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. My mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. She let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale. You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months. Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean why do I have to pay for it, you know?
People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of
or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Lovelow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
So this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First,
It's Jesus!
you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation from your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive. But why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of of the praise, of the crest of the wave. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to stone the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snubs, ones the push and the shove, ones the folks to feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration, who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, serve the rest of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets. Set a fire in the building, let them feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, no squilling bet letters, and burn them on the pyres of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances, little dances aren't as harmless as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry or rough. Then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your notes.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
A bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR.
No, it's ridiculous.
Past that break.
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand.
And we intend to make sure that in these
This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
fair share of the abundant, nutritious food we grow right here in the territory. Your entitlements book will be coming to you by post in the next few days, and it will let you claim enough food for the week every week at one of our many new distribution centres. Everyone will get their fair share, and no one will be left behind. So you can
here we go.
coming together to enjoy life.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Megan, Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Advance. Let's keep on setting a shining example.
5,
Together.
4, 3.
Welcome back, and no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial,
but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
So lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs are kimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right,
What did you say?
Yeah, right,
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
After the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so. Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Catchy. We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells! Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris? I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into. What's different about this show, then? Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show? What is it that you bring to the show?
I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock. Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, is actually a lifesaver, really.
I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
You do this every night.
Absolutely. It's a metaphor. Absolutely.
For what?
It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
And the public are footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaner and my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves? We're performing all over the nation. And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes. It's unbelievable. Yes.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt, you'll have taken our jobs. taking our jobs.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. And from all of us here. And I'm Megan Wolf. Have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Tired of dull and lifeless hair? Fed up of dry and brittle split ends? Then say hello to Acid Gastrique. Acid Gastrique. Provitamin formula is a deep fortifying, intensive treatment that repairs and protects hair for irresistible shine. Only Acid Gastrique contains an organic blend of ingredients that penetrate deep into your hair, breaking down citrulline and glycogen for hair that looks and feels healthier. Acid Gastrique. Acid Gastrique nourishes from root to tip for 8 times the strength of other brands. 6 out of 10 shampooists recommend it. Acid Gastrique. The intensive formula acts fast, repairing damage and strengthening strands for hair that's truly unbreakable. Metaphor for hair strength. Rapid repair and protect. Deep.
Before we go over to the National Nightly News team, there's just time to catch up on our programming later tonight. At 6:30 p.m, it's What's My Old Tat Worth? And tonight, Frank Franklin and the team are in Grantstable trying to flog an Ottoman. At 7
all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team pubs and bars.
And of course, cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. It's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your derriere.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon! I'm so sorry. Crikey.
And
Headbutt Ale, in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend you regret.
Or possibly a night you'll pretend you remember.
So what should we all think of Johnny's latest attempt to market his notoriety? Patrick?
Disgusting.
Wise words there.
Late.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it?
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel elation from your participation. Still two leaders in the nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why? So I don't need your and I don't need your help to achieve dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being fucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the press of the wave, cause we're only equal people when slave. Take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna cause he's fake. A job is unfaithful. It's time to stone the castle with the motherfucking pitchfork. So this is for the snubbed ones, the pushed and the shoved ones, the folks that feel the burden of loved ones who had plenty like Bentley, the ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise, of the press of the ways, cause we're only equal people when we're slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, gonna cause he's fake, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone the castle with pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your in the street. Let him feel say you hate the squilling betters. Gonna take this fact, gonna stain it red, cause he's fake, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stone the castle with pitchfork. Chase that me, cause they
What, you've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Give me the willies.
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned. You have been warned.
Ailing business. Wannabe beer magnate Johnny Handsleeves seems to have fallen on hard times as his brewery venture folds. It seems Johnny wasn't cut out for the brewing business, as poor sales forced him to close his doors. And if this exclusive image is anything to go by, he hasn't been handling it well. Left with 8,000 cases of surplus stock, a heartbroken Handsleeve says he's been left with no choice but to work his way through the leftovers himself. Johnny said, I reckon at my current pace I can get through them in just over 2.5 years. But then again, I'm smashed, so what do I know? In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Unearthed, the scandal of the controversial methods employed in the construction of Remington's fists moves. The future of the project is in question as an anonymous whistleblower has come forward detailing the wanton violations employed to further construction, which allegedly can be traced all the way back to shameless CEO Sophia Remington. Documents seen by this program detail the authorization of dynamite, plastic explosives, and a substance called Planet Go Boom Boom, which is derived from the horns of endangered rhinos. Sophia denies the allegations and claims her bi-weekly safaris are to further her charity work. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Progress today for the stranded scientists of Dante's Taint, as the captain leading their rescue mission is announced. The trapped team have survived in the cave system for many months now, but hope is on the horizon as the expedition leader is announced by the Board of Underground Theoretics. A respected professional with decades of experience, training and knowledge, Captain Audrey Aerospace is said to be the only real choice to successfully save the troubled scientific excursion, but an unfortunate one to be sat next to at a dinner party or social occasion. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protests, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment.
Good evening, I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. No substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line. I hate guns. Give me the willies.
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned.
Ailing business. Wannabe beer magnate Johnny Handsleeves seems to have fallen on hard times as his brewery venture folds. It seems Johnny wasn't cut out for the brewing business, as poor sales forced him to close his doors. And if this exclusive image is anything to go by, he hasn't been handling it well. Left with 8,000 cases of surplus stock, a heartbroken Handsleeve says he's been left with no choice but to work his way through the leftovers himself. Johnny said, "I reckon at my current pace I can get through them in just over 2.5 years. But then again, I'm smashed, so what do I know?" In it to win it, exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Unearthed, the scandal of the controversial methods employed in the construction of Remington's Fists moves. The future of the project is in question as an anonymous whistleblower has come forward detailing the wanton violations employed to further construction, which allegedly can be traced all the way back to shameless CEO Sophia Remington. The claim alleges a slew of bribes have been paid to public officials, 2 mayors, a police chief, and several pizza delivery drivers. But that last one may be written off as excellent tipping. Sophia denies all wrongdoing and is scheduled to speak before a judge next month. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Progress today for the stranded scientists of Dante's Taint, as the captain leading their rescue mission is announced. The trapped team have survived in the cave system for many months now, but hope is on the horizon as the expedition leader is announced by the Board of Underground Theoretics. Given rumours of incompetence throughout his career, Captain Archibald Viator III has proven a controversial choice. His troubling service record includes accusations of being drunk, disorderly, and disrobed on duty. Classy. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protests, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. The reckless fire will certainly be remembered by all those who have seen these striking images. As their actions escalate, people across the country are asking themselves, who are Disrupt? And what exactly do they want? Other than a new box of matches, of course. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News. hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today. She's not even here.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
He's here to keep us safe from people like Disrupt.
More like keep us in line.
Looks like I missed a few.
I hate guns. Give me the willies.
Dr. Adrian
10 seconds, everybody.
So, we've got any actual real news tonight?
Well, the world's on fire. That good enough for you? Going in 5, 4, 3.
Let's go over to Jeremy Donaldson for the National Night.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week. In a statement from team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The World Council should make no mistake. This blockade and the illegal sanctions it seeks to enforce are an act of war and will be treated as such. Any incursion, however slight, into our territory will be met with swift and deadly force. You have been warned. You have been warned.
Ailing business. Wannabe beer magnate Johnny Handsleeves seems to have fallen on hard times as his brewery venture folds. It seems Johnny wasn't cut out for the brewing business, as poor sales forced him to close his doors. And if this exclusive image is anything to go by, he hasn't been handling it well. Pictured here on day 4 of his nationwide tour, where he's vowing to deck the doubters, the failed entrepreneur is making his way from pub to pub, thumping anyone who dares call his brew too hoppy. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today, with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country will be picked at random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Unearthed, the scandal of the controversial methods employed in the construction of Remington's fists moves. The future of the project is in question as an anonymous whistleblower has come forward detailing the wanton violations employed to further construction, which allegedly can be traced all the way back to shameless CEO Sophia Remington. Documents seen by this program detail the authorization of dynamite, plastic explosives, and a substance called Planet Go Boom Boom, which is derived from the horns of endangered rhinos. Sophia denies the allegations and claims her bi-weekly safaris are to further her charity work. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Progress today for the stranded scientists of Dante's Tate, as the captain leading their rescue mission is announced. The trapped team have survived in the cave system for many months now, but hope is on the horizon as the expedition leader is announced by the Board of Underground Theoretics. Given rumours of incompetence throughout his career, Captain Archibald Viator III has proven a controversial choice. His troubling service record includes accusations of being drunk, disorderly and disrobed on duty. Classy. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protests, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. As grassroots support for the movement grows rapidly, especially in those areas Advance have not yet been able to fully regenerate, people across the country are starting to fear a return to the bad old days of inequality, division, and multiple television shows about buying houses. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship, and her proud owner. That's up on tonight's National Nightly News. But first tonight, Our team of correspondents has been dispatched to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolf in Shining-on-Sea to see what this scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there? How's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anne Burke at the University of Princeton. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating. Isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about
and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon we'll be getting a high-tech readout of the results.
Blimey, that sounds very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Rivington Spitz. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our teacher, and may I just say, complimentary personal anecdote. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so...
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
We should be celebrating these wonderful results, I think.
We need to evolve gills within 40 years. Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. You can't go around looking like that. There you go, much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this.
Everyone, we don't have long. Time is running out.
Absolutely right. Have time for...
Abandon hope and return to the forest. Abandon hope and return to the forest.
Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the planet.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof. There you have it, Jeremy. But everything is just fine. I'm Megan Wolf. Here with science. I'm Megan Wolf. Back to you. Here with science.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this week's Team Membership Lottery. Robin?
Thanks, Jeremy. I'm here in Scritchford with Gary Failsafe, a janitor at the local school, and Amelia Jackhammer, an aspiring poet. Both of you were drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel? Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two. Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know. What have you won? That's right, Robin. What have you won? I've won dinner with Julius Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants. Ooh, swanky.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon. I've written a poem about it. So, can you tell me about the moment when you first heard the news?
Well, I was battling against a particularly difficult floor to probably one of the sixth formers, when the headmaster came and found me.
I was involved in a similarly brutal conflict with a particularly arduous stanza. So you were both polishing turds?
No, I don't like to polish them. I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh.
I like to keep them intact for my collection.
Oh. How unexpected. I don't polish turds. I write poetry. Potato. So Gary.
Do you think Peter Clement's going to let me keep the contents of his down?
There's no harm in asking, I suppose. Would you like to hear one? No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no. The boss said I had to sign up to keep coming into school.
Very sensible. It's important to know who we're trusting around our children. I have an unpublished book of sonnets about children. Perhaps you'd like to hear one. No. Or an anthology. No. Haikus on the death of innocence. I'd rather hear about Gary's turd collection.
Really? I thought you might say that. Really? I thought you might say that.
Are you all right?
Are you all right?
It's coming. It's inspiration, and it's delicious.
Right you are. Right you are.
Today on the show, there's no news. Just a man who keeps multiple poos.
This big one's my favourite. See how it's fibrous, really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance to win?
If it's colour you're looking for, take a gander at Old Blue Eyes.
The national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair. Thanks, Robin. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the locals. Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. Tell that looking him, proud of you. Do you know what it's like, son? Being in the second smelliest town, living in the shadow of Arseminster, I smoke fucks. But who's laughing now, eh? Who's laughing now?
So what happened, mate?
Right, the good people from Willington's Fist came in and saved the day with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Stink not affect your life in every way, Barry. I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first bout of sickness. The judges were very impressed.
What's sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now, folk are saying something about the production line and how they dump carcasses directly into the waterway, but I think it's probably a few valves on the high street.
On the high street? Did I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a lot of inhibition.
Cough, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, you stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon.
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Dotty? Was that you, Dotty? Why are you made out of elbows? You know I don't eat opinions.
Oh, don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink.
Thanks, Barry.
You need to stand back.
That's fine. As we speak. When we come back, I'll be talking to three members of the general public who appear to be here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
This next section features a potentially controversial guest, and Mars may request some censorship if it goes too off-topic. You've done a great job so far keeping everyone happy, so let's keep up the good work.
And I can't do this anymore.
I say this every Friday.
What do you mean?
Jeremy?
And you're thinking, I need to get cool. I need to get down to Neil's because we've got the aircon on. We're serving up ice creams to all the customers, but our prices are dropping faster than a kid with a cold. It's on the floor. Yes, they're dropping it
talking about? Hat football? We should be doing an interview with the War Minister, or a report from Grenfell Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Dave. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Your host. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Tell us, what brought all this on? Tell us,
It's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be perfectly frank with you. So I was watching your show, and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace. We're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting. I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore self-hatred.
Is that
not according to my therapist? Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. I get shushed a lot. Work's they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really a stop answering the phones.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
People tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've received.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that fame would win her back.
We've started a group of people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society. It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it. And
who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come on, Mr. Donaldson.
What do you think?
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry. It's very hard. I'm sorry. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet.
What was I thinking?
Or a sellout cunt. Or a sellout cunt.
Just reminded that he can't help it. And hey, if this isn't live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right! Frankie, Rose, tell us! How can the viewers get involved with your cause?
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show? What did I say before the show?
No! I didn't say. Wow! We have to end that now. Wow! What a harmless bit of fun! What a harmless bit of fun!
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We need to respect.
Yes, well, respect. I'll be talking to the other captain. I'll be talking to the
No, it isn't. Hand him up once.
Enough! Hand him up once. Enough! Enough!
What are you doing?
Trying not to piss myself.
What are you doing?
Don't you dare!
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Dare cut to the ads before I tell you. You in the broadcast centre. Both you in the broadcast centre. You listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to. You cut to the ads every single person in this single person. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. For a long time. Christ, it's so Fucking Christ, it's so... Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and... Before it was all lottery winners and... Football? We are on the brink of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds of years. The enemy is at the gates, and I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots. Talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go. Out of my studio. Before I change my mind. Now, go. Before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Jenny, lock the doors. The doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Good. Yes. Now. Good. Yes. You in the broadcast centre. You in the broadcast centre. You listen to me. Alex. You pay attention. You listen to me. Now. I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to pay in the commercial. But today's going to be a little bit different. But today's going to be a little bit different. Yes. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into a VHS tape. And when I say so, and not before, when I say so, play it. And not before, you've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time.
Alex, I assume you won't be playing that tape. This station does not negotiate with terrorists. I hope I've made myself clear. You seem to know what to do.
Every single thing that comes out of this studio is either one-sided or banal. We're going to show the other side or banal for a bit of fucking balance. The good old days. Balance. Alex, play the fucking tape. I don't want to hurt any of you. If I see anything I don't like, I will not hesitate to start.
You're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
You've heard them talk about us on the news. We are Disrupt. We are the Resistance. It's time you knew the truth. You know Advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not a burden. You know the rich were not all evil. And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you. But why should you trust us? Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies. Well, this is not a movie.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming for our freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labors. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it. A great many people already won't. You can resist.
And the
You
studio
can
doors are all still
disrupt.
locked?
Find us. Talk with us. Join us.
So what now?
It isn't hard.
I don't know.
We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected. This was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy? So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off. It was supposed to be your day off.
Please, don't do any more stupid things today. Please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long, Jenny? How long?
Already lied. You're already lying.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to the National Joining me unexpectedly. Joining me very much imagine with my last broadcast. I very much imagine with my last broadcast. Jenny works here at the National Nightly News. Jenny and it's someone I consider Nightly News, and it's someone I consider a friend. Well, and next to her is. What's your name?
Andy.
What's your name? Andy's a policeman.
Andy.
Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official. He's a community
Officer.
cohesion official. Sorry.
It's community cohesion officer. It's CCO. Cohesion officer.
And how's that feel, Andy?
CCO.
Being rebranded. Being
It's,
rebranded.
It's good. It's not about confrontation anymore. It's not about confrontation. The force had its fair share of problems. The force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some. But it still has some. Couldn't or wouldn't? Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? Christ, we'll come back to you later, aren't you? We'll come back to you later.
Don't
Jenny?
want to be on the news, Jeremy. Don't want
want to do this. You'd want to do this. Jenny, why did you join the National Nightly News? Why did you join the National Nightly News?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? Yes, but why the National Nightly? The National Nightly.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was.
It was the news everyone trusted. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint? Do you really
Is there something else you'd rather discuss? Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring. Elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring. I saw your face when that hood came down. I saw your face when you didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger. It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said.
No. I didn't know. No. The people I met, I didn't know. He wasn't there. The people I met, I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry. Alan. Seriously. Fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet. Flushing your life down the toilet. I love you, Jeremy, but I love you, Jeremy, but
He's a good speaker. He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country. He's popular in the country.
That right. That right.
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. There is still something. And you know it, Jenny. Wrong. And you know it, Andy. And you know it, Jenny. And you. You know it, Andy. You know it too. And you. You are. Me. You know it too. I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. I'm interviewing a guest. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff. Interviewing someone who I mean, it's not sophisticated, Paul. What a metaphor. I mean, it's not sophisticated, Paul. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. And the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything. What are all those scientists working on at Grentham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? What are they... Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. Your turn. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
But just here to
For how long? Then why do you need these? Then why do you need these? Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. Let me help you. You read these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
I don't understand.
Do you want my help, Andy?
Yes, whatever you say, yes. Yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it. Eat the fucking news, Andy. Or force it down your fucking throat.
Jeremy,
force it down your Go on. Throat.
Jeremy,
really?
Eat it. Go on. Eat it.
Really?
Eat it.
Jeremy, stop.
Eat it.
He will kill you. Please, don't make me watch that. Please, don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right. Of course. Sorry. Right. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, everyone. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can put the card down now, Andy. You can go now. You too, Jenny. Now. Fuck off over there. You too, Jenny. And nearly done. And nearly done. All cameras on me. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so... seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? Don't you want to know how many people were transitioned last month? How many record high? Again! A record high? Again! Shouldn't someone ask advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supply we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of who's this? Instead of there's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking dolly for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway, that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast. In the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him. But I guess that just about sums it up. We're all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ is also fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Having a relationship. I hear that nice. Having a relationship. Never tried that nice. I never tried it. I loved the news. I loved them. And now, well...
Oh, God, Jeremy, don't!
Now, well... I've tried my best to be honest with you. I've tried my best. This just isn't the mood anymore. And this just isn't the mood anymore. I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please, we can't cut to the ads. Please, we can't cut to the ads.
My name's Jamie Donaldson.
Do it now.
My name's Jamie. If you can.
Do it now.
If you can. Somehow. I envy you if you can. I envy you if you can. Have a peaceful night. Have a peaceful
Jeremy! Jeremy!
Our society has never been fairer. From the food that we eat to the education, transition and community cohesion services we all enjoy. Finally, by working as a team, we have raised living standards and are the envy of
an ID card, a movie.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we...